Greetings friends and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dimitris. Continuing with the fiction story of me visiting the Master, I have the chance to share with you some reflections regarding selfishness. Take what makes sense to you and let the rest drift as clouds on their way. The fresh, chill wind that touched our faces as the Master opened the door of his house whispered about its power, the way it chased the heavy clouds away. The Master stretched his arms and fingers towards the sky and gave me the impression of enjoying his connection with the scenery, nature, and the moment. How do you achieve this mindset of constant inner harmony? I asked, curious to find out if the Master had some special advice. I think that the metaphor of selfishness being like rust is an illustration that will help you recognize its nature. Rust never stops tearing down, and it does so quite often in secret. That is how our selfish desires and fears tear down true happiness, that is, in being free, and by being free, in a true harmonious relation with life. There are two ways of dealing with rust, one of them being to treat it constantly with some special paint. This is the way of discipline. But perhaps the more advanced way is not creating the conditions for rust to generate. Which of those methods is your way of dealing with selfishness? I asked. I honor them both, but you should be aware that the result isn't just dependent on the method. What should I be cautious of? I wondered. You should not touch to achievement, the Master replied, something that made me ask him, how can anything be achieved without pursuing it? Desire is rooted in selfishness, and selfishness can certainly not be the way to happiness, even if you achieve what you desire. In the contrary, selfishness is the cause of unhappiness, the Master replied confidently. But aren't you happy when you see the fruits of your efforts? I insisted. Look at those amazing colors spreading throughout the morning sky. Those are not my creations. But regardless of that, I feel happy just by having the possibility to witness them. No matter my personal references, this is the way I wish to perceive it all. Once you release the desire of expectation, then the inward state of gratitude and joy becomes the reference, the inspiration, and the way. Can you share with me what brought you to this conclusion? I asked, convinced. The experience of chasing after nirvana was imprisoning me. And perhaps you remember that my wish is to live free. Humans have a tendency of attaching themselves to things they don't want, just as they do to things they desire. As such, they attach to sorrow, but also cling to those ideas about the perfect state of joy. In that way, no matter how noble the intention may be, the desire becomes the sleepless rust. Are you implying that somehow you are giving up the pursuit of, say, happiness in order to gain it? This couldn't be the way of freedom, but rather ego's tricky trap. The master answered with his silence, making me understand how well aware he was of those mind traps. The wind brought with it some fallen leaves, reminding me of the impermanent nature of life. Would the idea of becoming ill, or the reality of dying, yield you inner joy? I asked. How can I base happiness upon what is impermanent? It would be like being dependent on the bypassing moment of accidental joy. I think I understand why they call you a master, I said. It is because you manage to manifest the thoughts and ways that, to my understanding, springs out of your heart. This may be so, he commented humbly. Join and enjoy.